besties, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to vlogmas episode 5. I think it's number 5. Today we have an exciting video. I'm going to be sharing and talking about my favorite romance books of the year. So I mostly read romance, so these are my top tier favorite romance books of the year. I did start reading this year, but whatever. These are my favorites. So let's go ahead and get started because I need to talk about every single one of these books and I don't know how long this video is going to be. So before we get started, remember to subscribe down below and turn on the notification bell so you get notified when I upload more videos. And well, because I currently don't have an uploading schedule for Vlogmas, so if you want to get notified, yeah, that's gonna be the best way. Turn on the notifications. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so you guys know that my favorite author is Colleen Hoover, and I have 3 books that I really want to mention in this video because those are the 3 books that really stood out for me and the ones that I love, that I'm always going to love. And most of her books are really good, don't get me wrong, but these are my ultimate favorites. So let's start with Colleen Hoover because it's been a while since I started a book recommendation with Colleen Hoover. Okay, so you guys know my favorite book of all time. If you don't know, it's Ugly Love. This is my favorite book. It has my whole heart. I love it so freaking much. Okay, so this is a brother's best friend and friends with benefits to lovers. And it also kind of has Grumpy Sunshine. Kind of, yeah. I feel like it kind of has Grumpy Sunshine. If you don't know what Grumpy Sunshine is, it's basically when the guy is super grumpy and the girl is positive and upbeat, and that's kind of the vibe. Okay, so I know I've summarized this book in a million videos now, but I'm gonna do it again anyways. Okay, so this book starts with the main character, which is Tate. So Tate basically moves to a new city and she doesn't have a apartment yet to stay in, so she is going to stay with her brother. So the story starts with her getting to her brother's apartment. So she gets to this building and it's basically kind of a luxury building, so she's super weirded out, what? And for some context, Tate's brother is a pilot. As she gets there, she goes up to his apartment, and when she gets to, she walks out of the elevator and she's starting to walk to his doors to his apartment, she sees a drunk guy passed out on the floor, and she's like, what the hell, what's going on? And she calls her brother, and her brother is like, let me help you, I'm gonna call my neighbor so he can help you with this random guy. And her brother calls his neighbor, and when he calls her back, he tells her that he's gonna need her help because his neighbor is a drunk guy passed out on the floor. So that is the first impression of the main male character of the story, which is Miles. So Miles is also a pilot, but he has a dark past, dark secret past. It's amazing, it's so good, and then a lot of things happen and you're like, what? It's kind of heartbreaking. It is. It's kind of heartbreaking, but it has spice. A lot of Colleen Hoover books, I feel they don't really have spicy scenes, spice at all. I feel this is the spiciest book by Colleen Hoover. So yeah, that's how the story starts. I am in love with those 2 characters. Their love story is so amazing, and the ending just the ending is perfect. The plot twist, perfect. This is my favorite book. Oh my god. I'm going to reread it at the beginning of, well, in January, because I want to literally start the year reading that book. Next book by Colleen Hoover is Confess, which okay, I know this book has mixed opinions. Some people love it, some people hate it, hate it. I am one of those people who loved it so much, and I feel it's so underrated. And yeah, I feel it's one of her most underrated books. I know that the couple is not the strongest because the book surrounds the story with plot twists and situations and problems, not so much romance and the couple. The story starts with Auburn, and Auburn moves to a new city, but you don't know why. She is trying to get a job. She lives in an apartment with a roommate, and one day when she's going back to her apartment, like walking to her apartment, she stumbles upon this little like art gallery that says like help needed, hiring, and she enters the art gallery, and there is where she finds the main male character of the story, which is Owen. So okay, so that is the kind of like start to the story. So yeah, basically that's how the story starts, but the actual book starts with kind of like a backstory of Auburn, like a little story before what I just told you. I honestly, like, I was reading the book, and the entire time I was reading the book, I was like, okay, whatever, not loving it. But then I got to the last part, which is basically the plot twist, and I bawled my eyes out. It's just so cute. The first part of the book kind of connects with the other entire part of the book. I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to spoil anything, but please give it a try. Stay until the end. And if you finish the book and you don't like the ending, okay, then you didn't love the book, but it's okay. Please give it a try. Okay, and the last book by Colleen Hoover that literally became one of my favorites, and it's not It Ends With Us. Okay, so this one is coming out January, so literally in a month. So that's why I'm putting this book in this video. This is reminders of him, and okay, let me just tell you, buckle up and get ready, because you're gonna bawl your eyes out. Okay, so this is not so much kind of a love story, like normal like couple romance love story. I feel like this is one of the most mature kind of books that Colleen Hoover has ever written. This book is basically about this girl who had an accident with her boyfriend, a car accident with her boyfriend, and basically the boyfriend died and she lived, but she went to jail because she was driving the car under the influence. This woman goes to jail for many years, and what we find out, which is not a spoiler or anything, is that she had a kid. Like, when she got to prison, she found out she was pregnant with her ex-boyfriend's baby. So she had the baby and she had to give it to her ex-boyfriend parents, so basically the child's grandparents. Meanwhile, she was in prison for a lot of years, and when she got out, she basically started to pick up her life. She was trying to like pick herself up and do something for her life, and she found a job, and she does this until she has enough money to travel to another, I think it's another city, small town, to go find her kid, her baby. And the thing is that the grandparents have the like full custody of the child. So the whole situation is basically her trying to get to meet her child, and the whole freaking story is so heartbreaking that by the end you're just like bawling your eyes out. It's a heart-wrenching story, I'm not gonna lie, but it's just so different from her other books. It has a really beautiful story. The ending is just the moment. Ending, I was literally bawling my eyes out. It does have a happy ending. Please, if you haven't pre-ordered this book, please go pre-order the book. Okay, so those are all the Colleen Hoover books that I'm gonna talk about today. Let's move on to other authors, other books. Okay, so the next book that I'm going to talk about is a book by Penelope Douglas. So this book is Birthday Girl. So I've been trying to explain this book for the past 15 minutes and it's not happening. So I'm over it. I'm just going to read the back of the book because it's really pissing me off. So the back of the book has two perspectives, kind of gives you the like perspective of the two main characters, which is Jordan, a girl, and then Pike, a man. So Jordan's perspective: he took me in when I had nowhere else to go. He doesn't use me, hurt me, or forget about me. He doesn't treat me like I'm nothing, take me for granted, or make me feel unsafe. He remembers me, laughs with me, and looks at me. He listens to me, protects me, and sees me. I can feel his eyes on me over the breakfast table, and my heart pumps so hard when I hear him pull in the driveway after work. I have to stop this. It can't happen. My sister once told me there are no good men, and if you find one, he's probably unavailable. Only Pike Lawson isn't the unavailable one. I am. So that is Jordan's perspective, and let's go to Pike's perspective. I took her in because I thought I was helping. She'd cook a few meals and clean up a little. It was an easy arrangement. As the days go by, though, it's becoming anything but easy. I have to stop my mind from drifting to her and stop holding my breath every time I bump into her in the house. I can't touch her, and I shouldn't want to. The more I find my path crossing hers, though, the more she's becoming a part of me. But we're not free to give into this. She's 19 and I'm 38. And her boyfriend's father. Unfortunately, they both just moved into my house. This book is an age gap romance, but not only that, the main character, which is the girl Jordan, has a boyfriend, and that boyfriend, well, basically her boyfriend's father kind of takes them in and lets them live in his house because they're kind of like struggling with money, and they basically live under his roof, but we all know where that is going. So it's a really good book. Definitely my favorite by Penelope Douglas of this year. Now let's get into other spicy books. This next book is by Huang. This is Twisted Games. This is the second book in her series, the Twisted series. So the first book is Twisted Love, then comes Twisted Games, then it's gonna be Twisted Hate, which is coming out January, which I'm so freaking excited. And after Twisted Hate, Twisted Lies. So it's a series of 4 books. I've read Twisted Love and Twisted Games. This is my favorite from the 2. I feel like I'm gonna love even more Twisted Hate. So in the first book, Twisted Love, we kind of learn about the first character of the series, which is Ava. Well, Ava has 3 best friends, and the other books are about her best friends. So this one is about one of her best friends, which is Bridget. So Bridget is a freaking literal princess from another country, and like princess. And basically she's had a bodyguard with her at all times for many years now, the same bodyguard, but this bodyguard decides to step down from the job because he wants to like spend more time with his family. He's like getting older, and that means that she needs to find a new bodyguard. That is where the main male character comes into the story, which is Riz. So Riz is the bodyguard, the new bodyguard. They are kind of enemies at the beginning, but basically this book is about the forbidden love of Bridget the princess and her bodyguard Riz. It has so much more to it, like the story and everything. I loved the story. This book has a lot of more romance, spicy scenes, slow burn, but you guys, it's really good. It's really, really freaking good. This is one of my favorite series of all time. I love it. I cannot freaking wait for Twisted Hate. Okay, so next book is more of like a recent discovery. I have talked about this book, I think, in almost like 2 videos now. And I've recently like read this book, okay? This is also part of a series, and this is also the second book of the series. Okay, but this is To Hate Adam Connor by Maise. Oh my god, this book is so good. Like, you guys. Okay, so this is the second book of the series. The first one is To Love Jason Thorne, where you kind of get to know the like first characters of the series, which is Jason Thorne, and Olive. So that is like the first couple of the series, but Olive's best friend is the girl in this book, which is Lucy. Okay, my battery died and I forgot what I was saying, but I was talking about To Hate Adam Connor. And okay, this is about Lucy, Olive's best friend, and basically to give you a little bit of context, because you do need to read To Love Jason Thorne to kind of, yeah, to understand a lot of the parts in this book. So this book starts with Lucy temporarily living with Olive and Jason. And Jason is like a freaking movie star. He lives in a really rich neighborhood with a lot of other movie stars. actors, actresses. So basically Jason lives in this beautiful house and his new neighbor is another actor, which is Adam Connor. So Adam Connor is a newly divorced actor with a kid. So he has a little kid, which is so cute. I don't want to like say a lot about this book because you need to read the first book and then read the second one, but I just wanted to mention this book because it's my favorite from the series. This is a enemies to lovers, kind of forced proximity, slow burn, and overall the best enemies to lovers book I've ever read in my entire life. It's so good, you guys. So I'm gonna read the dedication of this book because it's so cute. It's so cute. Okay, so the dedication says, "This book is for everyone who had at some point in their life trouble believing they were worth the trouble." That kind of relates a lot with the main female character, Lucy. So you're gonna get the point, the whole point. But yeah, it's just so good. Okay, the next book that I'm going to talk about is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. So this is a childhood best friends to lovers. It has a then and now perspective. I'm going to read the back of the book because it's kind of confusing with all the then and now and all the things. So I'm going to read the back of the book for this one. So it says, "The story of the heart can never be unwritten. Maise Sorensen is settling into an ambitious, if emotionally tepid, routine. Work hard as a new pediatrics resident, plan her wedding to an older, financially secure man, keep her head down and heart tucked away. But when she runs into Elliot, the first and only love of her life, the careful bubble she's constructed begins to dissolve. Once upon a time, Elliot was Maise's entire world, growing from her gangly, bookish friend into the man who coaxed her heart open again, only to break it on the very night he declared his love for her. Told in an alternating timelines between then and now, teenage Elliot and Maise grow from friends to much more, spending weekends and lazy summers together in a house outside of San Francisco, devouring books, sharing favorite words, and talking through their growing pains and triumphs. As adults, they have become strangers to one another until their chance reunion. Although their memories are obscured by the agony of what happened that night so many years ago, Elliot will come to understand the truth behind Maise's decade-long silence and will have to overcome the past and himself to revive her faith in the possibility of an all-consuming love." You guys, like, oh my god, I did not see that coming. I'm honestly so bad with plot twists. I never see them coming, but you kind of know what is gonna happen. You kind of have a sense of what's gonna happen in the plot twist, but you don't. Like, well, I didn't at all. So yeah, it's a really beautiful, heartbreaking story. So I read this book at the beginning of November. This is Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I wanted to lose myself in the small town of Pellion, Maine, to forget everything I had left behind. The sound of rain, the blood, the coldness of a gun against my skin. For 6 months, each breath has been a reminder that I survived and my dad didn't. I'm almost safe again, but the moment I meet Archer Hill, my entire world tilts on its axis and never rights itself again. Until I trespass into his strange, silent, and isolated world, Archer communicates with no one. Yet in his whiskey-colored eyes, something intangible happens between us. There is so much more to him than just his beauty, his presence, or the ways his hands communicates with me. But this town is mirrored in secrets and betrayals, and Archer is the explosive center of it all. So much passion and so much hurt. But it's in Archer's silence that we might just find what we need to heal and to live. So the main character, main male character of this book doesn't talk. So he can listen, but he doesn't talk. And the main female character of this book, which is Bree, meets Archer and she starts communicating with him through sign language. And it's just the most incredible story I've ever read in my entire life. It's just beautiful, you guys. The definition of beautiful is that book. Okay, and the last book that I have to mention in this video, because this book was very, very good. This book is by Helen Huang. This is The Kids Quotient. Honestly, very different in the best way possible. I was so shocked, so surprised with this book. Stella Lane comes up with algorithms to predict customer purchases, a job that has given her more money than she knows what to do with, and way less experience in the dating department than the average 30-year-old. It doesn't help that Stella has Asperger's, or that French kissing reminds her of a shark getting its teeth cleaned by pilot fish. Her conclusion: she needs lots of practice with a professional, which is why she hires escort Michael Fon. With the looks of a K-drama star and the martial arts moves to match, the Vietnamese-Swedish stunner can afford to turn down Stella's offer. And when she comes up with a lesson plan, he proves willing to help her check off all the boxes. Before long, Stella not only learns to appreciate his kisses, but to crave all of the other things he's making her feel. Their no-nonsense partnership starts making a strange kind of sense. And the pattern that emerges will convince Stella that love is the best kind of logic. Like, I just loved the whole concept of the story. I love the main character Stella and the guy and the whole concept. It's just so cute. Just so cute but spicy at the same time. These books have my whole heart. I'm sure that I'm gonna reread these books. I'm so excited for 2022 and all the new romance book discoveries. It's gonna be so fun, you guys. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you got some new book recommendations. I know I've talked about these books in a lot of videos, but I had never talked about all of these in one single video. So yeah, I hope you got some new book recommendations. I love you, besties. Thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe down below and turn on the notification bell so you get notified when I upload more videos. I love you, besties, and I will see you in the next Vlogmas episode. Bye!
Oh, corks and bottles, ready to pop out. Oh, no more crying. We are knocking out another year of new loves.